Friendships are very important parts of our everyday life. Healthy friendships remind us that we're not alone in this world. It is in healthy friendships that we get safe environment to share, vent the challenges that we are going through, get support, get some caring and some love, and by this we lead a better and fulfilling life. Some friendships, however, are toxic and some friends are toxic. So how do we identify toxic friends and how do we deal with them? In today's episode of Story Molly, we are going to look at signs that you are in a toxic relationship. In our last episode of Story Molly, we looked at narcissists and toxic relationships at work and how to deal with them. In today's episode, we are going to specifically look at signs that you are in a toxic friendship and how you can cope with that. My name is Maureen Murari and welcome to today's episode. When you start to feel overwhelmed or anxious about a friendship that you've been having over a long time, or just any friendship really that you've been having, it means it's time to evaluate it. Your body is telling you something and your brain is also telling you something. So take time to evaluate this friendship. Sit down and see why you feel anxious about meeting them or just having a conversation with them. It means they have probably either done something to you in the past or there's something about their character that is definitely not sitting very well with you, and your emotions and your body is trying to warn you about such a friendship. So anxiety and being overwhelmed about a friendship that you're having could be or is the first sign that your friendship is toxic and you need to evaluate it. I know you have met these friends, the kind of friends who rarely apologize or do not apologize at all for any mistake that they do. And when they do apologize, they make you feel guilty for the mistake they made. If you have observed this in a friendship that you're having, then you are in a toxic friendship. Some people have gone ahead to even apologize when they want to apologize. And so when you tell them that they have made you sad, for example, they say, "I am sorry for how you feel." What they are saying is that it's not necessarily apologizing for the mistake that they did, but your inadequacy to deal with the emotions that have come out from their behavior. So in the end, it's not an apology, but really making you feel even worse for behaving or being sad due to a mistake or something they have done in your life that was not right and you pointed it out. This is an interesting one. Guilt tripping. So you might have some friends that use guilt to make you feel sad about what you did or you did not do for them. So what they're actually doing is using manipulation. They are very good at manipulation. They take your weaknesses and use them against you to manipulate them, to either be their friends or to do something for them. Most of these friends, they are very sharp. They keep a record of your weaknesses or a record of things that they can use against you. And when they do that, then they use guilt tripping to make you to do something that you actually do not want to do or you wouldn't do in your normal or right mind. One of the things that you will observe with these friends is that they believe that they are your only friends. And when they need you, you must be available for them. And they don't believe that you can have a life outside of them. And the funny part is, most often than not, these kind of friends are actually not there when you need them, but they expect that you will always be there when they need you. So you need to observe how these people are, especially when it comes to when you need some kind of help or some kind of support from someone. Are they there for you when you need them? And do you feel like you're giving away too much of yourself to them and not receiving something back from them? If you have such friends that are always taking away from you and never giving and using guilt and manipulation to make you feel sad about something that they were hoping that you would do and didn't do, then you are dealing with a toxic friend and it's time for evaluation. Over time, you have been having challenges with this friend, you're feeling used, you've been giving too much of yourself to them and receiving very little or nothing from them. What that creates is actually a diminishing of trust from your side. Then it feels like you don't trust them anymore. Even when you have challenges, you can observe that you don't feel like talking to them because they will not help you anyway, or they will not be there to listen to you, even if you need them. With diminishing trust, it means these friends have been doing something over and over and over again in your life, and because of this, the trust is decreasing. You don't feel that you can trust them with your personal life issues because maybe they have been sharing it with some friends out there. The fact that you cannot actually rely on them, and this is making you not to trust them. If you start to feel this kind of feeling that you cannot trust your friends or your friend anymore, then it means something is wrong and you need to check out what exactly is wrong and communicate that to your friend and give them time to change, if they can change. Do you always feel like you're the one holding the ropes, and if you just let loose a little, this friendship will not continue? Then maybe you're the one holding the ropes, and maybe you should actually let the ropes go. So what this means is the fact that you are probably the person who's always there for your friend. You always give your time, give resources, give a listening ear to your friend, but they're probably not doing the same for you. Also, it could mean you're the first person who reaches out to check on them, like, hi, how are you doing? And when you don't do that, they actually do not take time to do the same. If you feel that you're the one holding the ropes in that friendship, then it's time to probably speak to your friend, tell them that this is how you feel, and hopefully they will listen to you. But if they don't listen to you, then maybe you should actually let the rope loose and see how it goes. You cannot be the only one always reaching out on them, checking on them, and the only time they reach out is actually to ask for something or to complain or to just have for you to be there for them, but they never ever check on you. It means you're giving too much, and at some point you will run empty and you're not receiving much of what you need as well as a human being to thrive and to feel safe and healthy in a friendship. This next sign, which is actually sign number 6, is the fact that you dread hearing from your friends. Somebody that you used to treasure hearing from them, now they're causing you emotional turmoil. Anytime you see a phone call from them or anytime you see a text from them, your body knows that this friend, what they really want is for you to be there for them. This kind of feeling does not develop overnight. It has been built over time. It is because they've not been there for you. Your friendship is going downhill. It's not growing. In fact, it's draining you. So dreading to be with friends that you used to treasure is also a sign that you need to check exactly why these feelings are cropping up at this time and how best you can handle it so that you can revive your friendship, or to just see where you are if you need to revive it, or just to end it. I am an advocate for constructive criticism because with constructive criticism, you can grow, you can develop, you can know your weaknesses and try to see how best you can learn from your mistakes or your weaknesses and build yourself or grow. But some friends will use negative criticism to bring you down, to pull you down, and they will never ever point out something that you can do to become better or to develop yourself. So if you have a friend who is always making you feel bad because of the choices that you make, be it in the way you dress, in the way you talk, in the career that you have chosen, or even the friends that you've chosen to pick outside of them, and they don't tell you exactly how you can grow in those areas, then it means they are toxic friends. Toxic friends, I feel, and I observed, is that sometimes they are jealous of your life. And the only way they can make you feel down, especially if you're more, you're better placed either in terms of social well-being or in terms of your career, they admire something in you and they cannot have that thing, then the best thing they can do is to bring you down. And to bring you down, they will criticize you in every way possible. So such friends will use some of the things that you've told them, you have shared with them, some of your weaknesses. They will use those against you so that they break you down. And when you're down there, they will shine and they will look better. And by so doing, then it means they are looking good more than you are. And that is because they broke you down. So if you have friends like those who do not cheer you on, do not give you constructive criticism, rather they focus on negatively making you feel sad and low and breaking you down, time to cut them loose. It is important for you to have boundaries for every relationship that you have in your life. This helps people to know what they can or what they cannot do. When you're dealing with toxic friends, however, they do not respect these boundaries because for them, there's nothing that is wrong in their eyes and they can do whatever they want at any time they want with you. And if you allow them, they will always do this to you. When you find that you are having friends who do not observe boundaries, it is important for you to communicate to them what you want and how you want it. If you communicate this information to them and these friends still do not observe or follow the rules or the guidelines that you've given them, then it means you are actually dealing with a toxic friend and you should probably not be having that person as your friend. If you notice you have such friends who do not observe the boundaries that you have set for yourself and you have told them and they do not listen, then I think the best thing that you can do for yourself so that you're not feeling used or abused at the end of it all is for you to stop such friendships from continuing because they are hurting you more than building you. That's it for today. I hope you learned one or two things about toxic friends and how you can identify them, and once you identify them, how to deal with them. If you have any story that you would like to share with us, please feel free to check my email address in the comments and send us an email and we'll definitely get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you for now. This is Tori Molly and my name is Maureen Morori. Bye.